G'day church, it's Darnie here and I'm just here today on this Tuesday afternoon, the 16th of March. I'm here to give you another COVID update. As you are probably well aware, our government made an announcement on Friday, 5 March, and they announced some more easing of restrictions, which is great. And the main ones, I guess, that affect us in terms of this announcement is the increased seating capacity to places of worship and pretty much across the board to everyone. And we've got an increased seating capacity of 75%, up from, I think it was 60% last time. And so what does that mean for us? Well, it means that we can have 75% of what we can have by law in our auditorium on a Sunday. Now, here's our little thing by the City of Gosnells telling us how many people we can have, and we can have 389 people by law in our auditorium. And 75% of that, I'm sure you've done the maths already, is 291.75. So we can have 291.75 people on Sunday in our auditorium starting this week. So that is great news for us. What we're going to do is we're going to put out about 330 chairs just to make sure, we can have some gaps between us if we want that, and also allow for some gaps here and there and for families and all those kind of things. So Tony and I will be doing that later this week. Now, I think that is great. It's awesome, and I really hope that we can have that many people in our auditorium soon. And the other thing that's a positive about this is the reality that we don't really need to reserve a seat anymore. You know, like when our restrictions were a bit more tight and we had more people than what we were allowed, we had to have a reserve a seat system so that we made sure we don't go above and beyond of what we are allowed. But we don't have to do that anymore. So we don't have to reserve a seat anymore. You can just come on a Sunday, which is great news. It's a lot of saving time and hassle, and sometimes you forget and you do it late on a Sunday or whatever it may be. And the reality is we don't have more than 291.75 adults that'll be gathering in our auditorium. Especially now that our kids' church is starting at 10 o'clock simultaneously with our Sunday gathering. You've got about 50 to 60 kids out there and about 15 to 20 adults already. And the most that we've had registered since our kids' church has started back up again is 160 adults. Now, we know there's some newcomers and visitors that come along as well, but we're not touching anywhere near 290. So reserve a seat is gone. In the future, if restrictions are added back again, we might have to revert back to doing that. Or even if we find our auditorium getting quite full again with the seats, then we might have to go back to a reserve a seat option. Or, God willing, this would be a far better option, I think, is we could maybe start 2 services. If our numbers are growing and growing and we're getting to the point where we say, yes, now we have more people that are volunteering, which help with our kids ministry and all other ministries that would have pressure on them if we were to go to 2 services, because remember, this was the plan, then maybe we can go to 2 services. But hey, I'm not making any promises. We're not saying it's going to happen, but it's definitely something that we can see happening potentially in the future if all of this goes well and God continues to grow us. So keep that part of what we can see happening in the future potentially in your prayers. Now, with all of this, what I've just announced, what is quite important is you do continue to do some of the following stuff. Now, one of the ones that's very important, and obviously it's mandatory, is the mandatory contact tracing. The contact registers that we've got in our foyers already set up. We've had that for a long time now. Please fill those in, okay? There are 3 ways you can do them. There's obviously the Safe WA app. There's a kind of running sheet of paper that you can put your name down together with other people. Or if you feel you want to keep your details more secret, I guess, and safe, then there's the individual paper slips that you can fill in and put in the box. So please do that. If there is an outbreak for some reason, I can't see it happening with the knowledge that I've got and where we are at now. But if something was to happen and it came to our church, the person or the case, then the government can follow you up, and that's all in place. Back when we had reservist seat, we had some sort of way to be able to say to people, hey, well, these are the people that were here. But with that done now, we're heavily relying on the government fulfilling their role, and they're asking us to do the mandatory contact register. So please do that. The other thing is, if you're feeling sick or unwell, and especially if it's COVID, like kind of related symptoms, find that out on the government website. Stay home, please. I mean, just generally speaking, especially as we're heading to winter, if our kids get sick, we tend to just keep them home. It's just horrible when you bring them and then they make 20 other kids sick, and they go home and they make 20 families sick, and you know how it just goes through. So just in general, when you're sick, I think stay home. It's best for the gathered people of God here and anyone else that might join us. And then there's just the usual stuff that our parents have taught us from a really young age. General hygiene, so wash your hands, don't cough on people, don't sneeze on people, have manners and cover your mouth or cough into your elbow, those kind of things. And then keep a distance that you're comfortable with people as this thing continues to unfold. So there you go. That's it from me for today. What great news. We can have 75% of our auditorium capacity, no reservist seats anymore, and we're going to keep doing the things that we have been doing that the government's asked us to do, and hopefully we can kill this thing, and oh man, I look forward to the day when we can just open everything up with no more limits. So there you go. Spread the news. It's exciting, and we hope to see you on Sunday as we continue our series Exiles in 1 Peter, and head on up to Easter, where hopefully we can just have people come in and there be no restrictions whatsoever. That'll be great. Anyway, until then, see you soon. Bye-bye.